Well, we've made it to Pokemon Sword and Shield. At the time of making this video, Generation 8, if you don't count Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because they're not out yet, is the latest installment in the Pokemon series. And despite having access to over 800 Pokemon when creating these games, the developers did not give every gym leader their ideal team, at least in my opinion. So, without further ado, let's give every gym leader in the Galar region a brand new team. We begin in Turffield with Milo, the Grass-type user. He is the only gym leader in the region who doesn't use any Pokemon outside of Generation 8, as long as you don't count regional variants or Gigantamax forms. This is already a plus for him, but the only issue is Gossifleur and Eldegoss are from the same evolution line. If you're new here, I'm the type of guy that likes variety. So let's drop the Gossifleur and give Milo a Thwackey. I did think about giving Milo 3 Pokemon by adding Applin and Grookey along with Eldegoss instead, but this gym is already sort of easy, so I think Thwackey would ultimately give players more of a challenge. Nessa is the second gym leader in Galar, and seriously, the developers really gave her a Goldeen. Literally the most basic water type there is. Arrokuda and Dreadnought are fine, but let's throw that Goldeen in the garbage and give Nessa a Cramorant. Not only would this add another dual type to her team, but Cramorant would counter any grass types that you brought to the fight, and you know I'm always up for more of a challenge. Also, why does Dreadnought not have a rock type move? It literally gets Rock Tomb at level 1. Caboose, the gym leader of Motostoke, begins the trend of gym leaders using Gigantamax forms as their ace. This brings about an interesting question, as many of the G-Max forms are Pokemon from other generations. But for the sake of this video, I will consider any Gigantamax forms as Generation 8 Pokemon. Anyways, Caboose's team is basically Blaine's team, but with a giant centipede replacing Vulpix and Growlithe. However, Centiskorch is cool, so it can stay, but Ninetales and Arcanine have to go. For their replacements, I'll add Carkol and Reboot to the team. Carkol is just an obvious pick here, but of course, Reboot is another starter. And if you've seen the other videos in this series, you would know that I'm not the biggest fan of giving gym leaders starter Pokemon, but in this case, I kind of have to. Oh jeez, how do you pronounce this gym leader's name? Is it Bia? I don't know, I'm just gonna stick with that. Anyways, I'm kind of disappointed in Bia, as she doesn't use any new fighting types that are not regional variants or G-Max forms. Nonetheless, Sirfetch'd and G-Max Machamp can stay, but let's get rid of Hitmontop and Pangoro, despite how cool they are. Instead, let's throw on Graploct and Phalanx. Unfortunately, with these additions, Bia doesn't have a single dual typing on her team, but she only had one in the first place, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. Also, her Sirfetch'd and Machamp both have a dark type move, so that's something. On the other hand, Alistair does a great job of utilizing some of the new ghost types in the region. The only Mon that isn't from Gen 8 is Mimikyu, who can easily be replaced with Poltegeist or Dreepy. I don't mind either option, as Poltegeist is a fully evolved Mon, but Dreepy is part dragon, so it's really just your choice. Also, can we please give Galarian Yamask and Cursola a full moveset? Why do they only have 3 moves? Opal is next on the list, and she is definitely one of the more interesting gym leaders in my opinion. As for her team, it's okay, but a few changes can be made. First of all, let's drop the Mawile and Togekiss and give her a Morgrim. Now this still leaves Opal with an open spot on her squad, but I don't really know what to do with it. You can't have a Hatterene until level 42, so the only other fairy type would be Milcery. So I guess I'll go with that, even though Opal already uses Alchemy. Speaking of Alchemy, I went through the Mandela effect when writing this part of the script, because I could have sworn Opal used a Gigantamax Hatterene as opposed to Alchemy, but I was mistaken. We are now back to the version exclusive gym leaders, as Gordy is the rock type user in Pokemon Sword. Believe it or not, there's not much that I can do with his team. He already uses a Stonejourner and Colossal, so the only other Mon that I could replace Barbaracle and Shuckle with is Dreadnought. However, Dreadnought is already the ace of Nessa's team, so that would be kind of weird. And even then, Gordy would still only have 3 Pokemon. It's also too late in the game to give him a pre-evolution like Carkol, so I guess this is one of those very rare occurrences where Gordy's team can stay as it is, even though I'm not too big of a fan of it. On the flip side of things, I have my work cut out for me with Melanie. Her team of ice types consists entirely of Generation 8 Pokemon in Frostmoth, Galarian Darmanitan, Ice-Q, and G-Max Lapras. If I really wanted to change her team though, I guess I could give her a Mr. Rime, Arctozolt, or Arctovish, but as I said, her team is good enough for me as it is, so let's move on. Pierre's is the most unique gym leader in this region, in my opinion, as he is the only one that doesn't Dynamax or Gigantamax his Pokemon. Because of this, I want to make sure his team is relatively challenging. But first, let's get rid of those disgusting non-Gen 8 Pokemon. So now, along with Obstagoon, Pierre's will own a Thievul, Grimmsnarl, and Morpeko. Grimmsnarl is of course part Fairy, so it would be able to counter any fighting types that you bring into the match. Also, I think it would be pretty neat if Pierre's used a Morpeko, since Marnie, who is his sister, uses a Morpeko throughout your adventure. Alright, so according to Rabih, Raihan specializes in using dragon types, but he clearly has 2 Pokemon that are not dragon types and don't even look like one. However, he also focuses on the usage of Sandstorm, so we could base his new team around that concept. In the case of making his team all dragon types, it would be pretty easy to replace Gigalith, Flygon, and Sandaconda, as we could throw on Dragapult, Dracovish, Dracozolt, Flapple, or Appleton. As you can see, there's a lot of options, so I wouldn't really mind which of those 3 tagged along with Duraludon. However, if you were to take the route of creating his team around Pokemon who are immune to Sandstorm, then any combination of Corviknight, Sandaconda, Berserker, Runerigus, or Copperajah would be fine, as all of them don't take damage from Sandstorm, and they also haven't been on any of the other gym leaders' teams up to this point. So, there you have it. That's how I would modify each gym leader's team in the Galar region. Let me know what you thought about these modifications, or what changes you would make in the comment section below. As I said before, Generation 9 is not out yet at the time of making this video, and we don't even know if Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will have gym leaders. If they do though, then I will most likely make another video just like this one for those games. But for now, this series will be on a little bit of a hiatus, but I sure had a ton of fun making it. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell to see more. And until next time, deuces!